All right, just in case you really want to know about Rob Blagojevich, he's been like a cult figure. A jury has convicted Rod Blagojevich of nearly all the corruption charges against him, including trying to sell or trade President Barack Obama's old Senate seat. Jurors delivered their verdicts Monday after deliberating for 9 days. So he had faced 20 charges. He was convicted on all the charges regarding the Senate seat. He testified for 7 days, denying wrongdoing, but prosecutors said he lied, and the proof was on the FBI wiretaps. And those included a widely parodied clip in which Blagojevich calls the Senate opportunity, uses the F word, golden. So there you have it. Blagojevich won't be talking too much in the public too much more because it looks like he's going to be going to jail for all of that. So anyway, there you have it. All right, so to the callers, getting back to the shrimp. Somebody educate me when you get on it if you're a shrimper. Tell me about these turtle excluding devices, and Joe Harrison made a reference to the danger of them. From what I understand, if it's choppy waters and you use these turtle excluding devices, they can be dangerous. Explain that to me so you could educate me better on that. Here we go, back to the phone lines. HTV, welcome to Bayou Time. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good to know, Martin.
How you doing, sir?
All right, man. Jimmy's doing all right, I hope.
Jimmy's doing good.
I'm glad to hear that.
I had lunch with him last week. He's going to be back next week, and he's doing real good. He's looking good.
That's real good to hear. I want to change the subject. I'm going to talk to you about the shrimper and the pot bomb out. I want to change the subject about Edwin Edwards. I heard he's going to be a TV celebrity or a talk host there. You heard about that?
No, I'm having trouble. Jason, go ahead and lower in the eye. Be real quick because he's real overpowered. But try that one more time.
I want to talk to you about Edwin Edwards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be a talk host or a TV celebrity there.
Yeah, matter of fact.
You heard about it.
Well, matter of fact, I'm going to interview Governor Edwards coming up in September. And, you know, it's interesting depending on who you talk to. But just out of curiosity the other day, I was asking some people what they thought. Half of them said they'd vote for him again. The other half said they'd never vote for him again.
Yeah, because I was with Dave Treen on trying to get him out of jail. You know, I was for that, for getting him out of jail. I think the man served his time, you know. I think he was a good governor for Louisiana, you know.
Okay.
And I'm glad for him, man. Don't get me wrong. But I know he did wrong, but still he did Louisiana a lot of good too, Martin. That's what you got to look at.
Understood.
And talk about that, the shrimpers, Martin. They ought to get rid of the environment. But, what turtles do is ain't good. You can't eat them turtles. They ain't good for anything. Don't get me wrong. I ain't for killing no animals. But don't stop people from doing their living, man. People got to live. They got bills to pay. They got family to feed. I believe people come first, Martin. Yeah. What's wrong with them people, man?
Well, you know, I mean, my take on it is this. They've been shrimping families a lot more than there are now in the past. And we still got turtles they're trying to protect, so the turtles must be living. They must be making it anyway, so I'm not sure why they're trying to kill a whole industry.
You know who they ought to put on the island with them, Martin?
Who's that?
They ought to put Farmbird on the island with them. I believe they'll make a good match. And, you know, that's what I think. And talk about that pipe bonds, Martin, I think they ought to check into that. That man was up to something to do no good somewhere. Might have hurt a lot of people, and that's got to be checked careful. And the police got to start watching them roads. Now, they don't know. Good thing that man wrecked, Martin. And that man with the wreck, you don't know what he would have did with that. He would have got away with some kind of way. Nobody would have known about it.
Well,
you know?
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, you know?
Yeah, I know. Look, I know you got a lot of calls, so I don't want to hold you up, and I'm glad to hear that your dad is doing good too, man.
Yeah, he is. He really is.
Okay, have a good evening, Martin.
Thank you. Bye-bye. HTV, welcome to the program. Your comments, please.
Yes. How you doing, Mr. Martin?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I've been listening to all this stuff. Listen, when we were shrimping, they had a airplane that came somewhere and threw some turtles ahead of us, and we was dragging, and we caught one, and they had a number on it, and I threw it away. My husband said, he said, make sure you don't keep that on the deck. So I did. But that's what they're doing. They're blaming the shrimpers, but it's some of them Republicans that's trying to hurt the American people over here.
All right, so you said a plane
Airplane, yeah,
Flew in
airplane.
front of you and dropped some turtles in the water?
He was dropping about every 50 feet in front of us. That's right.
Wow.
That is right. If I could have took the number of the plane, somebody could have caught him. I mean, that's no
Yeah.
lie what I'm saying.
Well, no, I believe
I don't
it.
shrimp no more. I don't shrimp no more, but that was about maybe 7, 8, 10 years ago when they started all that stuff about them turtles.
Now explain this to me. When the turtle excluding devices, the TEDs, when do they become dangerous for small boats? When the water gets choppy, what happens?
When it's calm, but you don't catch no turtle. We shrimp for about 20-something years, and we ain't never caught no turtle besides when that plane, I could see him dropping the turtles in the front of us. That's what I'm telling you. It's an
Okay.
airplane or seaplane or whatever. It was a plane for sure. That's all I can tell you.
Okay.
And he was dropping something, and I told my husband, I said, you know what? I said, that's some damn turtles he's dropping. Because I caught my field glasses. And that's what I noticed what he was doing. And we caught one, too, a little small one. They're dropping them over here. They're bringing them over here. And if they die in this fresh water, they're blaming the shrimpers. The shrimpers ain't hurting nobody but trying to make a damn living, man.
So they were sabotaging y'all by dropping them in front of you.
That's right, but we were smarter than them because I don't even like the looks of them, much less trying to eat them.
Right. Well, that's interesting. I never heard that, but I'm glad you shared that
Well,
with
that
me.
is the truth, what I'm saying. I mean, you know, because it surprised me. I told my husband, I said, he's dropping some damn turtles. Look. And I give him the field glasses, and he could see him. You could see him good. He would come close to the water.
Well, all right. We're trying to give you all a voice, so hopefully it'll get a
They're
little.
coming from Mexico, most probably. They are coming from Mexico.
Yeah, that's what one of the callers said earlier.
Them turtles, I don't believe they live in this fresh water down here. There's too much mud and everything else. They don't live. They live on the sand, like in maybe around Biloxi, around there, Grand Isle, and yet I doubt if they live in Grand Isle.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate you calling, your input.
But we don't shrimp no more, so that's what I figured I'd pass this on to me. You know, we done got too old for it. But
right.
in all our life, we ain't never caught but that one turtle that he dropped in the front of us.
Well, I never heard about the the planes, but that's quite interesting.
They try to do everything under the sun to hurt the poor people. I mean, what you want to do? You can't fight the government, but I could fight them right now at my age. I wouldn't care.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Take care.
it. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Jason, Sharon, who's on one? Oh, we have State Representative Gordy Dove. Good to hear all the legislators are tuned in, and we want to try to get them involved. State Representative Gordy Dove, how are you today, sir?
Good, Martin. How y'all doing today?
We're doing good. We're just trying to sort of take up for one of our industries over here and trying to get the word out. And what's your take on the turtle excluding devices and all? Let's get your take on it tonight.
Well, Martin, you know that's just another heartache on the shrimpers. They're making it more and more stringent. You know, those devices allow shrimp to get out of it. You know, and I was never a big proponent of the shrimp excluding devices, but the federal government requires it, so we have we have to comply.
Yeah, I'm yet to get the answer I want. Are you familiar with the devices themselves? Why do they make it so dangerous? A lot of trawlers say that those devices make it dangerous because it weighs the boat down, but is it just the sheer weight of them, or is it just a drag on them? Do you know why?
Yeah, boy. And I've seen them, and I've seen them pulled, and yeah, it's just the sheer drag of them. And I mean, that they can hook onto an object in the water, and it's just, I mean, it's something that's just a drag. You know, that's a drag on the on the vessel itself, and you know, I guess there's no other design out for that. But I mean, you know, the few, you know, Martin, I've shrimped throughout my life growing up, and I mean, you know, we'd never caught these turtles. You know what I mean? And I know they're caught, but I mean, I just don't think they're as plentiful as you know what's made out to be. You know.
Well, it's like I was just saying, if the shrimpers, and there were much more shrimpers in family shrimping 10 years ago than there are today, if they weren't pulling up a whole bunch and there's still turtles left, then obviously there's a whole bunch of turtles that have always been around and will survive. I don't know why they're picking on one industry, and but once again, I think Joe Harrison made a good point, because the money in the imports is paramount, and the lobbyists are there, and you know about lobbyists. When people have the money and the lobbyists and the PR starts working, it's hard to fight that, isn't it?
No, exactly, and you know, it did more than, you know, these environmentalists and you know, some of these environmentalists go way too far overboard on you know. Now, you know, we're all out for protection, for protecting wildlife and sea
Sure.
turtles and what have you. But I mean, you know, there's a limit to going overboard when it's really creating a havoc on an industry that's already struggling.
Yeah, and I just, you know, sometimes I don't get it. I remember when the alligator was almost extinct, and now you can't get in a boat and go 100 yards without seeing them, and Swamp People's a pretty big show now, you know?
Right, it's full of alligators. You know species will survive. I mean, they're going to survive. They're going to survive hurricanes. They're going to survive Mother Nature. They're going to survive fishing. And you know, this is just environmentalists out of Washington, the same ones who try to shut us down on our levees, you know, in Terrebonne Parish. Gives us trouble when we try to build barrier islands because, you know, all of a sudden we're destroying something. And you know, I'm just a firm believer the people come first and the species second. Right.
Yeah. Now I've always said that. You know, people over the pelican or the eggs, but obviously they don't listen because it keeps the animals keep winning out for some reason.
Yeah, and you know, when it goes back to Washington, and you know, like it was said, the environmentalists, Joe Biden made a statement. He said the environmentalists are back in the White House, and
Yeah.
it's good to be environmentalists. It's good to protect wildlife, but I mean, at the same time, you have to work with people's living, their livelihood, and their way of life, what they've done their whole life.
Right.
And you know, this just it just goes overboard. You know.
Well, if we don't fight for the shrimping industry, I mean, to me around here, these people who are part of our community for years and years and years are actually the economy at some point. And I know medicine's big, the oil's big, but seafood industry in Louisiana just drives a tremendous amount of economic impact. And if we don't fight for them, who's going to fight for them?
Well, that's right, boy, and it's a way of life. We all grew up. You know, we've all had relatives. We've all been shrimping, and I mean, you know, all oyster fishing, and it's, you know, it's people's livelihood that's at stake here. But you know, when a lot of laws are made, sometimes people overlook. You know, who and what are they hurting? You know, they're hurting the working man and woman in Terrebonne and Lafourche and St. Bernard and Plaquemine and throughout Louisiana and the Gulf Coast.
Let me ask you this while I have you, and I appreciate you calling in, but I want to ask you, you take on the pipe bombs, and one of the callers said he thought they were heading to blow up some of the valves at Loop. I'm not going to speculate that, but what's your take on 10 pipe bombs in one vehicle?
Well, I mean, they were definitely up to no good, and I mean, maybe this will wake everyone up that there need to be armed, you know, a large presence of armed security. I do know they have security. Fouchon is well managed. It's well paroled, but I think this tells you that the National Guard needs to be stationed out there with some serious military hardware and protect, you know, of the oil. You know, I think it's 1.3 million barrels a day coming in. I could be wrong, but if I remember my figures correct. I mean, this is, you know, after Hurricane Katrina and Rita, I actually made a lot of calls when I went out there because I didn't think they had the security around Loop. And don't get me wrong, the Fouchon police do an excellent job. By no means am I saying they're not doing it. But I mean, when you're talking about terrorists with bombs, it's time you pull a National Guard and set up a little base out there. You know, set up a base and with some armed military people, and they can work hand in hand with the Fouchon police.
All right, well, Gordy, we appreciate you joining us tonight, and I tell you what, it's an interesting thing on the shrimp deal, but we're going to stay posted on it. I'm sure we're going to have y'all on to talk about it some more.
Martin, I'd like to say something else.
Okay, sure.
If you wouldn't mind.
No, go ahead.
I was out of pocket when that Butch Goodrow wrote those letters about the governor, and
Right.
I work hand in hand with the administration. They've been real good to Terrebonne Parish. We have 4 floodgates under construction, levees and roads and bridges and barrier islands, and I just hope the public realize, the governor has put more ethics in play. He's done more transparency, and I just hope the public listening here will realize what Butch Goodrow was doing was strictly politics in an election year. I think it's poor timing. I don't play those type of games, and I've been wanting to comment about it. But me and Butch Goodrow get along real good. There's nothing politically against us, but he's a Democrat looking for a good Democrat candidate and making a shot at the governor, but not saying all what the governor's done for Terrebonne, Lafourche, St. Mary. And if you're gonna down Governor Jindal, and everyone has an opinion. I mean, we all vulnerable to. We're not all perfect, but if you're gonna sit there and you're gonna down him, why don't you say the good things he's done too? And I just think this transparency stuff is a political ploy, and I think his whole statement to the Courier, to you, was politics in an election year, and I hope the public realizes that. That's all that was about.
Yeah. And that's why we open up. I mean, because face it. I mean, somebody asked me, "Guy, you had to put the whole 2 pages on." Well, he's a senator, so if he writes a 2-page letter, it is news. But then again, we have the Gordy Doves and the Joe Harrisons who can call up and rebut it, who have the same platform. And I tend to agree with you. He has pumped a lot of money. As a matter of fact, you have done a tremendous job of bringing levy monies and floodgate monies into the parish, and I know that you have worked with him. However, it doesn't seem like everybody works well together, and I know Butch and the governor have definitely had their problems together.
Well, yeah, boy, and like I said, that's just. And look, me and Butch have worked together, and you never see me say anything bad about Butch, but
Okay.
don't use the media during an election year as a partisan politics. That's all this is partisan politics. He didn't mention we're rated number 1 in the United States on ethics. I mean, we've passed more transparency. The transparency Butch is trying to talk about is economic development. The governor's office will not release businesses that they're talking to, trying to get them into Louisiana, because if other states hear it, then other states could go after the same business. So there's certain things that they cannot have transparency about.
Yeah, they'll go steal.
I mean, boy, if you fixing to sell something, you're going to go tell all the other states that you're fixing to get someone in here?
No,
no.
Hear you loud and clear.
There's certain things the governor's office does have to be confidential.
Yeah, and it's just up to the people. We'll bring them, no matter who it is, if they're a high-ranking official, we sort of bring it to them, and that's why we get the people involved. Because people are pretty smart. Sometimes we don't give them enough credit, but people sort of figure out on their own, and they do a good job. But Gordy, we appreciate you calling in, and I'll see you soon. Okay, boy, thank you for bringing up that matter about the shrimp. It's important to the industry, and of course, I'm chairman of Natural Resource, Wildlife, and Fisheries, and we do pass every legislation we can to help out the shrimpers, the recreation fishermen, and the oyster fishermen. All right, we appreciate it, Gordy. Thank you. Thank you, Moy. We do have Bryan Zeringue with the state police on the line, and he's going to talk a little bit more about the pipe bomb incident. So let's go ahead and get Trooper Zeringue on. Trooper Zeringue, thank you so much for being on Bayou Time.
Hey, Martin, not a problem.
Good. I saw the report earlier, and my God, 10 pipe bombs in one vehicle. Can you give us any more information?
Well, we got the name. I can release the name of the driver. His name is Tony A. Barishit he's 53 of Terrytown, Louisiana.
Okay, what was the last name again?
Barishich.
Okay, all right.
And 53 of Terrytown. Charges are pending. The investigation is still ongoing. Again, it's a joint investigation with state police and ATF.
Okay. And I know you're going to be a little tight-lipped about it because that's the way y'all do investigations. I understand that. But just on a personal note, we don't cover stories like this a whole lot. When we find a car with 10 pipe bombs, it's a little unusual, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And then with everything that's been going on lately in news and, things after 9/11, I mean, you don't take anything for granted. And like I said, the investigation is ongoing as we speak. And I mean, it was, for a trooper to show up investigating a single, or what he thought was going to be a single vehicle crash. And then when you start going through the wreckage and you discover these items, possible pipe bombs, I mean, that's an eye-opener just in itself.
Now, they said they detonate, I think this is already released. Did they detonate them in a nearby field?
That is correct. We got clearance. We were in a rural area. You're familiar with around McLeod, and that's all open cane field, no houses or residents nearby. So we were able to get in the field, got permission from the landowner, dug a hole, and we were able to detonate them and, render them safe.
Was it C4 or any type? Can you release any kind of that?
That information can't be released. Okay. I know everything is going off to the labs between ATF and state police to evaluate exactly what was involved. I know 9 of them were made out of PVC, and 1 was galvanized, and there was 2 other legally bought rocket type devices that were legally bought at a fireworks stand.
Okay, so I mean, I'm no expert on explosions, but the explosions when they detonate them, big explosions, small ones, or big pipe bombs, or what kind of damage could they have done?
Well, they could do some damage because you got fragments that you're dealing with, and again, anytime somebody makes this, it's just like you got to watch you when you're making your own rounds of ammunition to shoot. I mean, if you're not just right, and put a little bit too much, it can be hot or it can be a low load. You never can tell with these things. So, I mean, it's very dangerous just in general, and that's what ATF was trying to get across to the public when they came on the air with me also, is to make people realize how dangerous this is, and it's nothing to play around with. Don't go out and try to start manufacturing this stuff.
Right.
It's bad enough when you buy the legal stuff that can cause some problems sometimes because you may have a bad load or something in one of the fireworks.
Final question to you, because I know you're doing the investigation. Did this guy have any prior, or was he a well-known bomb maker or whatever?
No, that's part of the investigation that they're looking at to see, exactly his background. And I don't, I'm not at liberty to put that out right now because it's still ongoing. But those are the things they're looking at right now is his background and, what was his motive? What exactly was his motive? And again, you never can tell with everything that's been going on in the past. But I'm hoping to have all that tomorrow and put out a release tomorrow with also all the charges that they're going to bring against me.
Well, and I'm sure you'll keep us updated. I appreciate what you could share with us, and y'all do a tremendous job with Troop C, and I know we like to say that a lot. Y'all do a great job. Keep up the great work, and we'll be in touch with you.
Okay, Martin. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Once again, Trooper Bryan Zeringue with the State Police Troop C. There you heard it right from him. We'll take a break. When we come back, all the lines are lit up. We're coming right back to you. Don't go away.